My name is Jane Baird Warren, and Juilliard's was my book coach. She held my hand, both pushing and pulling me through that first draft of my debut middle grade novel, How to Be a Goldfish. Now, on October 4th this year, that same novel hits the shelves in Canada. And fingers crossed, it'll soon be available in other countries too. Now, my remarkable editor at Scholastic, Anne Schoen, describes Goldfish as a gripping story about lost and found family, fierce friendships, warm griddle cakes, and finding the courage to be who you were always meant to be. I like to describe it this way. He's a Star Wars-obsessed city boy, and she's a small-town farm girl, and together they're going to change everything. And I guess I subscribe to the writerly notion that it's probably best to know where you want your novel to go, at least in a general way, before you begin. Ask yourself the question and answer, why am I writing this novel, and why am I the one to write it? My questions were very loose. I had an idea for a Parent Trap-inspired story where two young strangers would meet, team up, and save the day. Not much there, but it's a framework. But while I was writing the initial drafts, bad things were happening in the world. Anger, polarization, misogyny, you get where I'm going with this. Well, it really got to me, and I ended up reaching back into an old quote from Nelson Mandela that said, "No one's born hating." And I thought, well, what if Lizzie and David, Lizzie's just 13 and David is almost 12, what if they hadn't been taught to hate yet? And what if through their actions, the grown-ups can relearn a thing or two? And in that quote, I found the touchstone for my novel. Hiring Julie as a coach was one of the best writing decisions I've ever made. Critique groups are great, don't get me wrong. I love mine. And they're especially great if you're lucky enough to have a group of writers support you who are pithy, supportive, encouraging, and most importantly, honest. But for getting your novel across a finish line, there is nothing like paying for expert coaching to hold you accountable to deadlines and quality. Those middle bits, the hardest part when you're writing, when you feel like your book is soggy and perhaps you really haven't got a great story here and you could just give up and listen to that little voice that says, let's just do this one because I got a better idea for another book. I'll put this one aside and write the new one instead. Well, your coach won't let you quit. She'll keep you going through that first draft until you get to the end, and she will remind you, or he will remind you, that what Anne Lamott said, I think it was Anne Lamott, everybody writes a shitty first draft. Don't expect it to be perfect, but get to the end so that you can go and edit and do your deep dives into your characters that your coach will direct you into doing. And when you do that, you'll find your touchstone for your novel. Right now, I'm working on edits for a new novel. It's a YA thriller. Think Jennifer Barnes' novel, The Fixer, or maybe TV's Alex Rider meets Covert Affairs. But even now, while I'm working on this new manuscript, going through edits from my agent, I still flash back to Julie's comments on that first draft of the last novel. The observations she made and the advice she gave me on Goldfish. I'm still not getting it all right. I still hear her words echoing in my head. In my acknowledgments in How to Be a Goldfish, I thank Julie, and I describe her as the Jiminy Cricket on my shoulder, never letting me take shortcuts. Thanks, Julie. Your tops.